I'm Terry David Mulligan. This is the Mulligan Stew Podcast. Welcome aboard. I don't know what number we're at now. It's past 300, that's for sure. Thank you for subscribing and listening. Appreciate it so much. We have two friends in this podcast this week. Joel Plaskett, who's on one coast in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, and Leeroy Stagger, who's in Victoria. Completely opposite sides of a gigantic country, the second largest in the world, and yet they become friends because of their music and the road and the community of musicians and artists. So we're going to put them together. Leeroy Stagger will be the second interview you'll hear today. Leeroy's great new album is called 3 a.m. Revelations, and it rocks, my friends. But first we start with Joel Plaskett. He's been making music for over 30 years. I mean, some of us, picked up on him with his band Thrush Hermit. It wasn't until he stepped out and started to do solo work that I really followed him along. In Need of Medical Attention, La-Di-Da, which I think he references in the interview. And then with his band Emergency, Down at the Khyber, Truthfully, his work with his father in Solidarity, last time I saw him actually. And then the Emergency's Ashtray Rock, Scrappy Happiness, 344. But this one that we're going to present to you is his latest, and wow, is it good. It's a 4-track project. Most albums are recorded on 18, 25. How many do you need? You can have all those tracks. We'll just keep adding boards. He went down to a 4-track cassette recorder project. So that, as he explained, when he was singing, he was playing. When he was doing harmonies with himself, he was on the second track and playing a different instrument, and he just kept adding to it. The album was called One Real Reveal. And if you ask the question, well, I mean, who's following along on this man's journey? The last time I looked at the tour that when he gets, for example, to Calgary, he's playing the Ironwood for 4 nights, and they're all sold out. Edmonton's sold out. Actually, I think the only tickets left available are in Lethbridge, but he's also coming by me. He's in Victoria. He's sold out. He has earned his audience, truly, over the years, has Joel Plaskett. So here's a conversation with Joel Plaskett about One Real Reveal. Wait until you hear the music. Wow. And we'll follow it up with my friend, fellow CKUA host on Dirty Windshield Hour every Saturday, and the proud possessor of a brand new album, 3 a.m. Revelations. And he's touring as well. So I'm a lucky guy. I get to talk to Joel Plaskett and Leeroy Stagger in the same show. Enjoy. It has been a while. It has been. I think it was Nanaimo backstage with your dad. Was the last time.
That's right. Exactly where it was.
And yeah, I'm looking at your tour dates, and all of a sudden I'm seeing Nanaimo, September the 17th.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that tour. The tour's got some interesting parameters to it. Are you well?
Yeah.
Are you safe? Are you well?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. I'm in the I'm gearing up for this tour, so I got a lot going on, which is good. But I've definitely got a sort of I'm in that, like, when I go to lie down to sleep at night, I'm like, I got this horizon line full of everything that's got to get done and that's in front of me, and I'm just I can feel myself like vibrating. So
okay, but how about the songwriting process? Does it do the same thing? Does it give you that same horizon?
It winds me up sometimes when I got stuff on my mind.
Okay.
The good thing about this record is it's done.
Do you write them down as you go so you don't forget lyrics?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I voice memo them. I type them into notes.
Okay.
Write them down. Sometimes if it's good enough, it'll stick, and I almost don't need it. All I need is the little melody to remind me. But 2, 2, 3.
Coming down heavy now, I'm gonna get soaked to the bone. And you know how that feels in the breeze. I hear the sound of rolling thunder. See lightning Janie, it seems now I'm slurring my words. Can I crash on your couch for a spell? Your whole room is spiraling, spinning the stones and the birds. And Janie, they're ringing my bell just to give me a couple hours. And Jane, I'll be out of your hair when there's a break in the showers. I'll start walking there. Rainy day, Janie, the weather is taking a turn. Can I sleep on your floor for the night? I don't have a pillow, but that's not my going concern. I can roll up my jacket all right. I'll let myself out in the morning. You won't even know I was here. From your living room floor I heard you snoring. I adore you, my dear. Rainy day, Janie, may I take the lazy way home?
Yeah, I got all these bits and bytes that fly around
There's
until
a
they
reason
turn
why I ask. I'm a notebook guy. Right? I wrote down thoughts, and I'm trying to answer this thing. What I love about the album is, and I love the album.
Thank you.
It's called One Real Reveal. Songs feel, and then I got a blank. Organic, fully formed, shaped, lived in, settled, like your most comfortable jeans. What I'm trying to say is, and I haven't found the word yet. I haven't found the correct word.
Right.
That they feel like you've been singing them for 10 years.
That's interesting. I love that, that's what you're hearing. And I do feel that to me, the limitation of the recording approach, the 4-track recording with a single microphone lends a sort of closeness to the sound and that I think makes it feels real to me. There's something about that microphone and it on the cassette, the warble of the cassette tape, and just the limitation of the overdubs. You feel like you're in the space of the record, which I think does then feels like in that way it doesn't. I like that the album doesn't keep you at a distance.
No,
It doesn't keep
the songs feel like something you have in your back pocket that's kind of worn and comfortable.
There's definitely a few there that have kicked around for a number of years. Some of them are, some of them are definitely stuff that I kind of wrote and amidst the pandemic. There's a couple on there.
Are they lived in? Did you have sort of, were they a comfortable part of your life? Because they feel
yeah, like the tune "Let Me Go, Joe" has been kicking around since about summer 2020.
Wow.
So I sort of played it. I played a few of them live here and there but they were all quiet. They're all quiet songs. So there's songs I would play, not necessarily always at the show or something. They were sort of late night. A lot of them were written on full moons too. I don't know if there's something there. The cool thing, the little synchronicity that's happening is the first show in Nanaimo happens to fall on a full moon. So we got a little theme happening, whether I like it or not. It's good. Yeah, and I do like it.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
By the way, I forgot to introduce you. You're Joel Plaskett, right? I got to check.
I am. I didn't send anybody else to the interview.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
One Real Reveal. When I heard it and I didn't read it, I thought, okay, it's a one reel reveal. It's done one reel. It's all in one reel, but it's not it. It's REAL reveal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a track, of course, and there are references to it in other lyrics. I got lost in the lyrics this morning.
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. And there's poetry inside as well. But all of them, Rainy Day Janie, High Summer, One Real Reveal, it's all over now. They feel like chapters in a book.
Okay, good. Yeah. I've been reading a lot so to hear that's really cool, because I've been the last couple of years, I mean, since just before the world shut down, I started reading a lot about 2018, 2019. I started to get back into long form reading, because the fracture, as the whole social media environment in bits and bytes, I kind of got overwhelmed by it, and sort of retreated back into books, because I said I need something long form, some fiction, nonfiction. And then in the pandemic, we opened a bookstore here,
Yes.
in the front of the studio called Friction Books.
Yeah.
And so I've been reading more, and so I've been thinking more about words and stories, and so that it comes across that way on the record is nice to hear, because books have influenced this record, and that sort of the contemplativeness of sitting with a book. And so, yeah, and I tried to structure this record not with a hard narrative by any stretch, but with an arc to it. I think to sort of bring some sort of story weave across it, or a few.
Can I play the first song that I actually played on air? Probably broke some embargo. I want to play the Hot AC, High Summer.
Yeah.
That's the one that jumped out at me right away. I hadn't listened to the rest of them. I just said, that's good. I'll take, this is the first, good. This is the first one I've heard. I want to play this. High Summer sets a tone for what's to come. I love it. Love that song. Can I play it? And what should we know about it?
That's actually, that's one of my favorites on the record. And it was actually the first one that I recorded on the 4-track using that mic, this KM56, this single mic that we used. And I was sitting sort of in my office, and I just set up the mic in the 4-track, and I overdubbed the harmony vocals. I made it up. It spent a couple hours sitting there working on the tune. And when it came together, I went, I like this sound a lot. And so that recording of High Summer is in some ways the template of what the rest of the record became, because I really like the way it just sort of, the simplicity of the approach to delivering it. So yeah, I like that one. And I wrote it after a trip to England.
High summer, winding up the full moon, arrows, broken arrows, flying sideways down the hall. Babe, it seems it only took a lifetime and a weekend, realizing maybe you and I were really not so different after all. High summer, tightrope and campfire and firing on all cylinders. Now I'm lost in the woods, rewired, desiring one real reveal, babe. I think we can change the world, babe. Do you think we should? Don't just sit there. Be careful what you wish for. When we're gonna get there? Should we get off on this floor? Words fail me, at least the ones I choose to use for you. High summer, high summer, you are my sunshine, you got my number. High summer, high summer, I'm your winter in the fine print. Ring me if you find it lost in January blues. High summer, baby, meet me in the fall. Maybe you and I, we're really not so different after all.
claims to be Joel Plaskett, and he's in the studio, and it's all glittery and wonderful. So let's just say that he is. It's been a while since I've seen him. I've seen photos of you with beards, but that's way back. You haven't been bearded in a while, have you?
No, I'm in, it got a little shaggy in the pandemic, and whatnot, right? But I'm a few days of, I seem to let it get to the point where it starts to show, and then I shave, but once a week I kind of shave.
So life got shaggy.
Yeah, life got shaggy. Well said.
Man.
Yes. Yeah.
I know that, and I don't think we're done yet. There's more
No, it's still pretty shaggy, whole world needs a haircut, or we really got to let it fly, one or the other.
The again, your rocker, although I liked High Summer for its driving, pulsing AC/DC beat. Rainy Day Janie, just
Right.
right in. It's fantastic. Thank you for that song. So it feels like something that just sort of fell out on the page, or did it?
It did. I mean, it was almost started as like just the chorus as a kind of nursery rhyme. Rainy day, Janie May, I take the lazy way home. That's really all I had to start with. And then I was like, okay, well, who's Janie? Why do I love the way that phrase just sang. And so it started as just kind of a nursery rhyme. And then I was thinking about the feeling of outwearing one's welcome, but with somebody who's okay with it. They're just sort of like, yeah, sure, make yourself a cup of tea, you can hang out. I'm going to go to sleep, or I'm going to go and get some groceries, but if you want to hang here, you show up at somebody's house. And it's also even the feeling a little bit of being on the road when you find, you hang out with a friend on the road or something, and you end up at you're just like, oh, can I just sit here for a few hours and hang out and at the risk of outwearing your welcome, So I was thinking about that in a sort of gentle, playful way, I think because everybody can relate to that. Everybody's had somebody shown up and outworn their welcome, but you're sort of like, yeah, they maybe they need to be here for now. Same guy, but this is sort of, so I sang it from that perspective of the guy who shows up and doesn't want to leave.
He is Joel Plaskett, and we are. I'm dropping in tunes as we go.
Yeah.
One Real Reveal is the name of this album, and it's very different. Just when we think that you've touched all the bases, you find another base to touch between second and third. You haven't round the corner yet, third base, but this is a beautiful album. It's going to require the audience at these concerts on your tours to invest themselves, to involve themselves in it, try to find the character and let it wash over. It's not going to be a big wash. It's going to be a slow, beautiful wash. I'm telling you,
it's a soft record.
You're going, oh, it's a soft record. It's a beautiful soft record. There's so much noise out there. One Real Reveal, the title track. I know how it feels waiting for one real reveal. How does that feel?
Yeah, I love the way that phrase rolled off. It's a tongue twister. It's not an easy phrase. One real reveal. You kind of, if you say it too fast, it hooks you. But I was thinking about, one of my sort of interests of the last number of years is just reading things from old wisdom traditions and Kabbalah and sort of which is sort of the Jewish mysticism and Emanuel Swedenborg, the 17th century mystic who influenced William Blake and Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Nothing from Reader's Digest, nothing like that.
Nothing from Reader's Digest, but there was something about, I guess, the inner journey of self-discovery, or if not self-discovery, just the pursuit of trying to figure out who you are in relation to everyone and everything else, the big questions, right? Which maybe I'm sure the pandemic helped a lot of people kind of roll along with. But the idea of one real reveal being, trying to make a record that's both delicate and approachable, but also mysterious, because you never get the full reveal, right? You round these corners, but you're always casting a shadow somewhere that you can't see. So you figure one thing out, you turn to look at yourself from a different angle, or to try to get a different glimpse of in a mirror to see what the back of your haircut looks like, and you block the other side of your head, So What's that?
A blind spot.
Yeah, blind spot, and hence the title track, exactly, which is sort of playing into that idea. Like there's and the idea of like love, that the line that song ends with, which is love rolling in the blind spot. So there's things even in the blind spots that you love, or even in the shadow that's not all bad. You kind of think of the Jungian shadow, and these kinds of psychology and stuff. But so I was thinking about those things, but one real reveal was just I thought this is the name of the record. The phrase showed up here and there. And I thought that my wife Rebecca did some really beautiful art for the record, the cover and the back cover and an inner gatefold. And there's something to the art. No, I asked her early on if I could use these images. There were older images of hers, and those images in very varying ways even inspired some of the writing, because there's something kind of just they're just beautiful wood burned album art. She's done some of my previous records, La Di Da and others. So people who are familiar with my other records will recognize Rebecca's influence on me. So yeah, there's a few things going on, dovetailing these things together.
Yes, dovetailing is a very good word. By the way, you're doing your own harmony?
I am. Yeah. I'm singing. The only other person on the record is Bill Stevenson, plays some beautiful piano and Wurlitzer on the record.
So your own harmony ends up sounding like, I wonder if your ears hear it as well. I started thinking of Crosby, Stills, Nash, album one. Their harmonies are beautifully close and expressive. Push the song forward. What do you think?
I'll put that feather in my cap. Say Terry. I love it. I mean, I love Crosby, Stills, Nash, and I mean, there's something about the way. I mean, they pick some notes that I don't know that I would grab. When you hear them, I don't know if it's Crosby singing in the middle. One of them's like threading the needle, like
exactly
that.
I think
creating this tension. High Summer started to get at that. That's what I like about the High Summer harmonies. There's this sort of like a three-part that sort of goes there now and then. And I do love harmony singing. I really enjoyed singing this record. All of the other instruments on the record, I had to sing the harmony while playing those instruments because I only had 4 tracks. So I'd sing the song with an acoustic guitar or whatever the main instrument was. And then I would take another instrument, tenor or banjo, and I'd sing the harmonies while I played that. Okay. So what you would hear is like 4 instruments and 4 voices, either singing harmony or doubling lines. That's the general arrangement decision. It changes a little bit from song to song, but that's the idea.
Yeah. It's not done this way at all. Name of the last artist you knew did a 4-track.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's some younger artists doing it, but this was a decision to put a limitation, because my last record was 44 songs and a big sprawling production, all of which I enjoyed doing. But the limitation of the 4-track, and frankly, I do find in a lot of modern music right now, just the prevalence of quantized drums and auto-tuned or looped choruses that go on and on and on, but are never change in tempo or intensity. And there's some good pop hits that can fly through those approaches, but I wanted something that was like decidedly that High Summer, part of the magic of that tune in terms of what I liked about it, I had 2 4-track cassette machines, same brand.
Sure.
But I recorded on one, and then when we went to transfer it, to mix it, I was using the other machine, and so we mixed it. And then later I went, this doesn't sound like the key I recorded in. I realized it had keyed it up to F sharp from F. I'd recorded it in F, and it sped up a little. And I was like, my voice is a little bit sped up on the mix, And then I was like, I like the way it sounds. And I was thinking about Zeppelin, like The Song Remains the Same. And how a lot of like that song is sped up. And I think a lot of old recordings that we like were probably running on tape machines that weren't locked at speed. And so even just that relationship with the technology, analog technology that has that warble or that imperfectness, I just realized like that alone as a creative tool and something that you don't have entire control of was joyful to me. And so I like that the record has this sort of, it does have this flux to it where they're not perfectly in key. Often the tape was playing back a little differently a couple days later, so.
Are you a control person?
Yes. And what I'm trying to do is be less so like that. And so my approach,
that's what you've done.
yeah, and so this was a way of trying to loosen my grip on the process, you
We are
know.
revealing. He is revealing one real reveal right now. Joel Plaskett. Thank you for doing this. One more song. It's almost over now,
Yeah,
which is a song that it has its own life. But my ears started to pick up the reference to Jimmy's "Wind Cries Mary,"
yeah,
"Into the Great Wide Open," the
yeah,
top of the um, Rolling Stones are in there.
yeah, yeah. That song's got lots of music in
Um,
it. Yeah.
um, nice. I like that. I like that a lot. And where does the poetry come in? Is it
The New Joys
New Joy?
is a poem,
And interesting is it comes in where the guitar solo would normally go.
right? Right, right,
I
right.
love that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it kind of, that second side of the record, things kind of fade and blur into each other, kind of rolls along. The spoken word I found, and there's the sort of spoken word dream at the end of One Real Reveal. Some of these moments of conversation or talking, I felt was like a good way to sort of re-engage the listener out of the slow songs to kind of snap you out of it. Because when someone talks to you, you respond a little differently. So poetry.
So, are you a poet?
Well, no, I mean, I write like the New Joys. I didn't work as a song. I felt like this is a poem. I tried thinking maybe these could be sung here and there, but that was an improvisation. I was at a show that was recorded. The main track with Bill Stevenson on the whirly
Yeah.
and my voice was recorded live at the Carlton in Halifax. And
No.
then I took it back. I took the 4-track back to the studio and I added the other little voices of me echoing myself and added some guitar and a little piano overdub. And so at the very end, if you listen on the very tail end of the fade out in headphones, you can hear the audience go, like clapping on the tail end of the fade.
So
And
what was
Bill got up.
what
Bill
was the
got
song
up and
again? What was the song again, Joel?
the New Joys.
New
Yeah, the New Joys, the poem there. Yeah, and at the and Bill, I had asked Bill to play a tune with me, and at the end I said, "Hey, Bill, I got a poem I'd like to read. Can you just improvise?" So Bill's just improvising on the Wurlitzer, and that was just a take, And I like the looseness of it. I think I might have even gotten a few of the words of the poem wrong, but now it's the poem on the record. So, yeah, it was nice to do something different, and I like how it has some of the other lyrics. It touches down in the lyrical space that some of the others do, but is much more free form because it's not locked into having to deliver a chorus.
It touches all the freaking bases.
The New Joys. Blind spots, crane my neck, look back, saw dots connecting broken track. Hearts down the alley start rallying real love. Shall we show it? We reaped it, we ripped it, so now we sow it. Eyes were open but can't be sure exactly what I was looking for other than myself. Still some days I hate to say, I just have eyes to look away. Words upon words, hooks into hooks, can't undo, can't run through, can't uncook the books. What's old where nothing's new? So we hold our breath, hit the wall, half the time we fall, other times we hang our heads, blame it on our parents, their parents, this country, these threads, or the first two words after the title, of course. Lay nothing on the New Joys. When we're not busy thinking too much, I suppose we should be thinking this through. We look down at the road, think, this is rough. Then up at the clouds, thinking, now that's enough. Words still weaving, hemmed in by them now. Some days he says, they're all I've got. Should I say this out loud? But then there's you. Outside this high definition, the real 2020, vision of beauty, not just on this channel, but the whole shebang. Moving truth, not shot through with explanation. Upstairs, There are no holes in this story, only windows in. I'm rarely up before the sun in this half dream. The one where I'm in your parlor is fading fast. The other half still caught up with the cats in the kitchen. Dishes to do, yawning now. Dawning on me, it's hard to learn the ropes when you're not up against them. Listening, talking slower, till you wind me up and we wind up somewhere else. Time's up somewhere else. Not here. But not here, not yet. Thoughts to matter, form from force. What are we doing? Why we're performing, of course. Try as I might to get these words right. Come on, type right. Tear it up. Are you stuck? Stuck in the snow? Stuck in the snow? Can we roll? Roll with the whiteout? No. Best foot forward? No. Best turn the light out. Sleep. Let's sleep on it, babe. Baby, please don't go down to Nouvelle Cause. Through this cold triangle. Stay close. Okay, hit 'em up if you must. Every angle. Unity's not mutually exclusive when the old boys club can book a room at the New Joy's Inn. God damn, you're a character. But I can't find the key for you. This afternoon, tea for two. Maybe then I get a clearer picture what is in fact true. This blue you've been through. And where you're going. And how close to follow when it's snowing.
I know you've done bigger works and grander works, and you've been given awards for them, and they have been acknowledged. This one struck me straight through the heart.
Thank you, Terry.
And I haven't touched it. I like to hold on to an album.
I'll have to bring the records out on the road, and I'll bring you one. The artwork looks gorgeous. I can grab a copy and show it to you if you want to see it. I got it in the lobby.
We'll trade holdups, okay? Something I just discovered. Now, in order to do these songs, friends, let me tell you about these songs. These songs are calm. They're beautifully calm. You start, you're going to take these songs and you're going to take them out. They have to be in special rooms. You can't just do a skating rink. You can't do a rink. You can't do a typical room. And I'm looking at your bookings now, and the September the 17th, Nanaimo, St. Andrews, the 18th in Sydney at the Mary Winspear, perfect. The Culch in Vancouver, wonderful room.
I've heard it's great.
Have you played it before? Have you been in there?
Oh, I've heard it's great.
Well, and then St. James. So then September 21st, the Dream Cafe in Penticton. Have you been to that room yet?
I don't think I have.
Oh man, you'd remember this room. It's really, you're right in the middle of wine country. You're surrounded by vineyards.
Great.
So, which is good because you have a day off. You could discover September 23rd, Lake Country, Creekside. September 25, 26 in Edmonton at the Varscona.
Yeah.
And then four nights in Ironwood in Calgary.
Yeah.
You like that room?
Really, I played the Ironwood. It's been years. I did some solo shows back on the La Di Da tour, I think, that were great.
You're done with Alberta, October the 2nd, Lethbridge at the Geomatic Attic. You needed rooms, did you not?
Yeah, I mean, went looking for smaller rooms than I would have done with the band or something. And as a result, in Calgary, we've got 4 nights there at the Ironwood, which is great. We added, I think we put 2 on sale and the other 2 got added. So we built some room in there to do that. but I'm excited. I mean, it's sort of like it's making the tour really long. Like I'm doing a lot of dates over the fall, um, because there's these multiple nights. But I think it's going to suit the material. I'm bringing a little bit of a stage setup, which you'll see when if you make a show, that'll be cool.
Right.
So I'm kind of hatching some plans to make it. I mean, I'm singing these kind of quiet contemplative songs, but then of course there's other material that I get wound up playing, and other people do
Yeah,
too.
so it's not
Um,
just these. Because I was thinking some of these dates are on a Saturday night or a Friday, Saturday night when people are just looking to break out, right?
Yeah,
And
I'm doing the thing is I'm doing two sets, right?
okay,
So I figure I can lean in to the new material a bit in the first set and sort of start here. And I mean, and I like stories. This is going to be a storytelling tour as well. And then I got a lot of material, so I've got a lot of flex in terms of being able to sort of, and I tend to make it up as I go along to some degree anyway. So we'll see where we
do you
get.
still have that killer cover of Stairway to Heaven in your
No, well, no, I don't. Well, you never know. Maybe night four in Calgary, we'll get there. Yeah, yeah,
I am so impressed with this album. I'm
yeah.
totally
That means a
impressed.
lot. Thank you
It
so
took me
much. Sure.
totally by surprise. I've been playing it.
Yeah,
I've played it in the car,
it,
played
it's.
while I walked the dog.
I had think I initially when I was thinking of it as a late night record, and when I gave it to my wife to listen to, she said, "No, it's an early morning before the sun comes up record." And I was like, "Oh, I like that so much more." And she's a morning person. I'm not so much, but I did realize like you can kind of fall asleep to this album if you listen to it late, because it's very slow.
I would love to hear some of the songs with strings behind them. As a matter of fact, this is just me because it's easy to say. I miss an upright bass in some of the songs. I could hear
Right?
it playing by you,
Sure.
with you, joining you. Uh,
Yeah.
but you played everything else. Why would you bring it
I
up?
needed a Tascam 5 track, and I just, and I can't play upright bass. I did lean mostly into acoustic instruments, so upright would sound great with them because there's so many other stringed instruments that aren't electrified. Um, but I was playing bouzouki and banjo and mandola and mandolin and, do whatever kind of sort of suited the song, 12-string guitar. So I'll have a bunch of acoustic instruments on the road, but you're right. These would sound great with a kind of acoustic trio with bass. And but again, I kind of there was something about just the unadornedness of it being very much a vocal record with these just kind of loose strings. There's a lot of tempo shifting on this album. So and I didn't feel like I mean, one of the things too is I'm kind of lazy about teaching people things. I mean, I love playing with other musicians and the emergency gets going. It's great, but this record was very much a like, I'm going to make this up as I go along. And and Bill and I have Bill's it's just incredible. If you've ever seen Bill Stevenson play piano, he's remarkable. We're so lucky to have him in town. Bill be in his mid 70s now, and he tunes the pianos here at the studio. And part of the joy of getting into the tune it is you leave him alone for a while, and then when he's done, you walk in and he's just playing the piano, and you get like a free, 15-minute concert if you want. And I mean, and so him and I have done some sessions together, and his touch on the piano, and he's got a real improvisational. Bill is one of those guys who's got a loose grip on things. He just lets things be. He doesn't try to, and he never plays the same thing twice. So I learn a lot when I'm making music with him. So it was a joy to have him play some keys on the
So
record.
let me come full circle. The song I've tried to tell this to myself. The songs feel organic, fully formed, very shaped, lived in, settled. Settled was like most like a comfortable pair of jeans. Um, but what's the word? I haven't yet found the word. Can we agree on a word? What do these songs feel like to you?
To me, I don't, for me, I got the reels in the title, and I don't mean to say that all music's both not real and real. It's real when it's happening in the moment. And then of course it's a recording, which is a capture, right? And it's a capture and then it changes. It's never the same again. Um, but I wanted them to feel real. Like they weren't some composite of that they weren't generated by a computer.
Yeah,
You know,
I do.
which is sort of like what a live pair of what a real pair of jeans feel like, a worn in pair of jeans, even if they were made by like a machine. Well, they by the time you've worn them enough, they're yours. You
There's
know,
that like a
nobody else can put
yes.
them on, and they don't look the same hanging on anybody else. And so I guess maybe that's what I wanted these songs to feel like. These songs are like, yeah, lived in is a good one, in that way. So I don't know. I appreciate the search for the words,
I'll let you
but
know
there's something quite ineffable about what I'm getting at on some of the songs, because what I'm recognizing about where I'm at in my life is I'm coming up against the edges of language. Because I've been really into Marshall McLuhan recently, and he writes kind of about that in relation to media. But you realize, like, with all the sort of words, and they're amazing, you sometimes come up against them where you realize, like, every time you describe something, you're casting a you're leaving so much out that you're defining something, and then you're reifying it. You're trying to pin it down, but it's something that's living and in relational. So the words only work for so long. And so there's this, I love language. I love to try to get it right. But as soon as I've got it, it's moved on me. And I go, no, I don't quite mean that anymore, but I got it as close as I could. And so I'm sort of talking around things a little bit, but this record the New Joys wrestles with that a little bit, I think.
last question. Your favorite line, your favorite lyric, one line.
Oh boy.
From someone anywhere, not just you. I mean, anywhere, anything that you heard.
Oh, wow. Okay. Give me a second here. There's a bunch. But I do, I'm one song I always come back to is Nina Simone's version of the 12th of Never, the Johnny Mathis hit. Now, I forget the guy who wrote it, Paul somebody. So I don't know the songwriter's name, but I think Johnny Mathis had a hit. I mean, it's kind of jaunty, the 12th of Never. But when Nina Simone sings the 12th of Never, and she comes up on the end of the song, you ask how much I love you, I'll tell you true. Until the 12th of Never, I'll still be loving you. And at the very end of the song, when it goes, until I love you, until the poets run out of rhymes, until the 12th of Never. And that's a long, long time. And it's so beautiful, so moving. And then the guitar player comes in and plays one note. He hasn't played through the whole song. And then you hear the guitar player go, and it's the most incredible live performance. It's live. You hear the audience explode. You're like, wow, this is. But the way she delivers that simple, until the 12th of Never, and that's a long, long time. It's such a great lyric. It's so just beautifully delivered by Nina Simone. So
I'll see you in Nanaimo.
I look forward to it. I can't wait.
Me too. No kidding. Yeah. I'll have some smoked salmon for you.
All right.
And what's your website so people can find you?
So I'm joelplaskett.com. There's the socials, and I've got a Substack now called The Window In at Substack, and that's my sort of mailing list and a little subscriber platform. So I'm most sort of active there, but my website's got the tour dates and all that. Love to see folks at the shows and all that. So thanks for helping spread the word, Terry.
Welcome. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it so much. I will look forward to your tour, and I'll play this music just like Nina Simone.
Man, thank you so much. Yeah.
Joel Plaskett. Yeah. Name of the album is One Real Reveal.
Some loves will never make sense. Two twos aren't four. When you look my way, I can't just sit on the fence and watch the Bredor day after day. 3 years ago when we met, leaving your lips, I heard my words total eclipse. Ooh, we were free, free as the birds. Iona, if you're at my door, you hold the key. Iona, I'm on your floor, I'm down on my knees. Iona, you owe me nothing, we're even. Iona, my only, I'm leaving.
Our first guest on the Mulligan Stew podcast, Joel Plaskett. 30 years of making music for the world. The new album is called One Real Reveal. I played you Rainy Day Janie, High Summer, Let Me Go Joe, The New Joys, which is the one with the poetry, and that great last song is Iona. And there's many more. It's a fabulous album. Now, Leeroy Stagger's new album is called 3 a.m. Revelations. I'm going to play you Blue Skies, Count to 10, It's Gonna Be All Right Someday, Alberta Stars, and we're going to finish with what I think is the hit of the album, Watermelon Pink. The album is 3 a.m. Revelations. Here's Leeroy Stagger on the Mulligan Stew podcast. He's Leeroy Stagger, and I'm T.D. Mulligan down below. What does it say in the? Tell me about the graphic behind you. Trust your process. Trust your process.
Yep, trust your process. My wife bought that for me years ago. It hung in the studio in Lethbridge, and it hangs here in the studio in Victoria because I want to remind myself and the artists that come in here to trust their heart, trust their processes, trust the reason why they're there.
Yeah, you know what? No, the reason why I beg to differ, sir. The reason why they're there is you. They trust
maybe.
you.
Maybe I should just say trust your Leroys.
Trust yourself.
Yeah.
How's life on a scale of 1 to 10?
Wild, like off the charts, off like way past 10. So many things happening. I'm in this like real healing journey right now. The last couple of years, this real spiritual healing thing, dealing with past traumas and inner child things, and it's messy and wild and beautiful and crazy, and this week has been nuts.
So does that mean that you find a calmness, a saneness, a slightly slower nuts on the road, or is it even worse?
Oh, what a good question. I think actually, well, I have 2 young boys at home right now. They're 11 and 8, and I love them dearly. Like they're working really, really hard and spending as much time at home as possible with them. But I'll tell you, like when I'm on the road now, I get a quietness that I don't get when I'm home, and that's nothing against them. That's what I signed up to do. But when I go on the road now, I'm less stressed out about the business side of things. I've kind of let that just be what it is at this point. I've been doing it for long enough that I can just leave it be.
It's where it maybe where you're happiest, that and home.
I think it's all the same. You have to find happiness where you are in the moment. So whether I'm on the road or at home dealing with these screaming kids, I'm trying to find happiness as it is. But when I'm on the road, there's moments of quiet, which don't happen at home. I can get up, I can read a book, I can go for a walk and be alone with my thoughts, which at 41 are pretty lovely these days.
I see in your lyrics, I see references to aging.
Yeah. Well,
I don't understand that at 41. What the hell? What?
I think I've always been somebody who's had older friends. So I think I've lost a lot of friends in the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, we all have. Yeah.
Yeah. yeah. And to see that, and that's my job, is to observe what's happening around me. And my spiritual practice has definitely helped with accepting death, but also reminding me to live in the moment and live while we're here, and to be grateful for the friends that are still here, and even the ones that have gone, and to kind of find the lessons from the ones that have gone. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm looking at. It's things have changed a lot. I fell off a ladder building the studio a year and a bit ago, and to try and come back from that is not the same at 41 as it was at 31.
No. And you count yourself lucky that you're able to stand and walk and talk, and because the body
Yeah.
body's not forgiving for something like that. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you okay? You feeling good?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good right now. I had frozen shoulder, which have you ever heard of that? It's
No.
so bizarre.
No, that's
It's
new.
where you can't lift your arm up past basically, just below here.
Okay,
Um,
got that.
yeah, and the amount of people that I've run into that have experienced it's pretty funny. But yeah, it was bizarre. So it was about a year of that, and it's like excruciating pain to get it past here.
Does that mean you can't do
Yeah,
the Pete Townsend cartwheel on your
no,
guitar?
you'd be basically on your knees in pain. Luckily, I could play. I could play fine. I could hold a guitar. But traveling was interesting. I did travel. I toured Europe with Frazee Ford. Well, I had because what happened was, like, when I fell off the ladder, I tore my rotator cuff like a football player, and so it turned into that. So traveling with it was weird, but luckily I'm at a point where I have enough fans that there's usually a couple surgeons in the bunch, and I have two really good orthopedic surgeon friends who advised me on
Very
what to
nice.
do, and scared me enough that if I didn't do it, then this is what would happen.
Listen, speaking of football, the BC Lions are playing in Ottawa, right around the corner from you.
Oh
Are
yeah.
you doing the national anthem or the halftime show?
No,
Okay,
no, thank God. Thank God. I got asked to do it once for the Canucks, and
all right.
luckily it got canceled on me because I was nervous, and I don't think I'd want to do that.
To all the good people that we meet along the way, takes a lot of good love to get us through the day. Just hold on close to the light and it'll guide you home. I will hold you close, keep an open heart, and I'll remember before, but I'll be cautious from the start, not to let in feelings once tried to drag me down. Changes coming, I feel it rumbling. There's blue skies breaking through the cloud. There's blue skies, we're singing it out loud. You can try to fight it, provided it'll get you through. It's a brave new world, just look what lies ahead. Yeah, we're gonna need each other, the common human thread. Don't fear what you don't know, for some it might ring true. The bells are ringing, it's time to come alive. Look your brother in the eye, you're lucky to survive. It's a strange old life, but if you grab it, it'll get you through. Days coming, I hear the drumming. There's blue skies breaking through the crowd. There's blue skies, we're singing it out loud. You can try to fight it, provided it'll get you through. provided it'll get you through. There's blue skies, they're coming on fast. Blue skies, they're taking me to task. Everything's changing and I'm finding how to breathe again. There's blue skies, they're coming on fast.
He's Leeroy Stagger. He is the host of Dirty Windshield's Hour on CKOA Radio, 11 a.m. on the Pacific Coast. I follow later after Holger, and this is The Stew. Yes, he is on CKOA, but he's also a working musician and an artist, and he has a new album. It's your 13th full?
I don't know. I think it's probably
I
around
think it's
there.
your 13th full.
And you know, I did make 2 other versions of this record, so I guess we can call it 50.
Yes, this is 3 a.m. Revelations, which speaks volumes, because we all have a certain time of the day where there's clarity and you make notes and you spark. Is that for you, 3 a.m.?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully not much, but it was a period of time when I was writing this record where I don't think that I was necessarily the most fruitful at that time, but it was a time where I was fully present, and it was quiet in the house, and I was up. So I thought, well, let's get to work.
Fantastic. I'm going to get the tour dates up here as soon as I can, simply because they're right around the corner. Did you, by the way, you're sharing The Stew with Robert Finley, the blues artist that I interviewed
he's fantastic.
In Edmonton. So you're in good company here. I saw that Joel Plaskett was working with you, and I had just finished doing an interview with him a couple of days ago about his 4-track and doing the album that he did on that 4-track. And there's a reference in the credits that come on the album that talk about use of his 4-track on Count to 10.
Yeah, it was at the same time. Joel has become we've been friends for a long time, but we've become quite close, I would say, in the last year. And he's such a magnetic and electric person. He's so creative and kind and just a wonderful human. But when you're a creative person, it's fun and nice to parse ideas off of each other or off other creatives, especially ones that you admire. And that are open to doing it. So we have like a really good thing going on. And, you know, I was just in Halifax and got to spend some time with Joel out there too at his studio. And so we're talking, we're thinking about, I think he's going to maybe do a record with me as maybe a producer and a player. We're scheming something for this winter. But yeah, to watch him work in here with his 4-track was amazing. And some of those tracks that made it on his new record, I mean, I watched them get cut live in front of me and my jaw was on the floor. That song Iona is one of the it was so beautiful. And I'm sitting there with headphones on watching it. And I'm just like, what? I can't even believe what I'm hearing right now. So yeah, what a cool, unexpected thing. So anyway, when I was making 3 a.m. Revelations, he was kind of in and out. We're using the studio, and then he'd want to hear what I was up to. So we kind of messed around with the 4-track and put that song over. And I was really holding on tight to the record at that point, and I was like, Joel, I love you, but I got to finish this record. You know, I think he was wanting to take it back to Halifax, and it would have been great, but I was like, I need to see this through.
You'd already done 3 versions. This was the third version.
Exactly. I was like, I got to finish this. So what we did was we recorded the vocal. We took the vocal that was digitally recorded, ran it through the 4-track, and I said, I love the sound of this vocal. So then I brought it back into the digital world, and that's what the version that you hear now.
They don't stop, they'll just sing through anything. I hope they know how much beauty that it brings. So here's one for the dreamers, two for the memories, three for the patience, four for the mess, five for the ages, where they were chasing around and around. Six for the devil, seven for heaven, eight for the faded, nine for the blessed, 10 for the flowers, coming and holding everywhere. A secret door, it opens slow. I feel the pull of constellations. The nighttime hum down the shore. The moon just hangs there with such patience. So here's one for the dreams, two for the memories, three for the patience, four for the mess, five for the ages, where we chase around and around. Six for the devil, seven for heaven, eight for the faded, nine for the blessed, 10 for the flowers, coming and holding everywhere. Everywhere.
Count to 10. Man, oh man. Okay. All right. He's Leeroy Stagger, and he has a new album out, 3 a.m. Revelations. This is Mulligan Stew, CKA Radio. Some tour dates, just so you know. I want the audience to just know that he's coming your way. Comox is already coming up. September the 5th, Arts Place in Canmore. The 6th, you were supposed to be in Jasper. Of course, Jasper has its own huge problems.
Yeah.
But the 7th, you'll be at the Avery in Edmonton. The 10th, the Ironwood in Calgary. The 12th, in the Owl Acoustic in Lethbridge. The Knox in Fernie on the 13th. And Between the Peaks in Rossland on September the 14th. Well done.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is this with the full band?
Yeah. Yeah. This is the full band run. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be touring with the band. It's way too expensive. And I found I love to tour with the band, but I've also found that I do very well solo acoustic. I like hanging with my friends and I love playing with people, but yeah, the economics of this have changed at this point.
Is Watermelon Pink the single?
I don't know. I think
hello.
It was the first single. I really like. I love Count to 10 a lot. I love. I also really love These Days. I think that's like a big single.
I love St. Patrick. I love Alberta Stars. Life's a Drag. I love that. I love Blue Skies. I love Blue Skies, and I'm crazy for Watermelon Pink. It's a hit.
Amazing. Great.
It's a hit.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy you love it.
And it's going to be all right. Bracket someday.
Yeah.
So it's a statement, but it's not a statement. It's just cautionary thing. Tell me about that song. It's going to be all right someday.
So I don't know if you heard that record I produced for Dennis Ellsworth. It's a masterpiece. But there was a song that he gave to me, or gave to that session. I said, this song's not right for this session. We've already got this vibe, so we cut it. Sure. And then about 6 months later, I'm writing this record, and I got that song stuck in my head, and I'm going, shit. So I phoned Dennis. I said, hey, man, can I cut that song? It's going to be all right. And he's just like, you son of a, like, he said, yeah, go ahead, and I said, okay, well, I'm gonna add a verse, because I'll add the third verse, because I want it, to be part of mine as well. And we cut that song, I think, 2 or 3 times, and we settled on that final version, which I don't think I've spent that much time on a production. It was probably two solid days, and then probably a solid day of mixing. So 3 solid days.
You do live in the studio, and you have built a
Yeah.
studio as part of your house and rebuilt a studio
Yeah.
as part of your house.
Yeah, which is a blessing and a curse. And, Joel said to me, he said, you don't have to go all the way on every single song. And I said, really? Great. I won't then. But that song I did.
One day this world will be calm, and the criminal price of freedom will be gone, and you cross my mind for the millionth time. And I'll hear you say, it's gonna be alright, it's gonna be alright, it's gonna be alright, it's gonna be alright, it's gonna be alright someday. In the early morning sun coming up over the mountains, through the valley of love, they're gonna carry you and bury your heart in the dirt. And you hear them say, it's gonna be alright, it's gonna be alright, it's gonna be alright, it's gonna be alright, it's gonna be alright someday. Everyone is fighting to survive, staying late to finish the disguise. She turns around and whispers, it's good to be alive. And you hear her say, it's gonna be alright, it's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright, it's gonna be alright. Someday. Someday.
Normally, we're the ones who are supposed to proclaim what all these songs mean.
Yeah.
I think it's better if it comes from the person who actually lived them. What are these songs saying about you, collectively?
Well, I mean, I tend to be a little more vague, because I want people to take what they need from them. But I think it's a collection of songs about growing up and being a dad and being in the arts world, and also being in recovery. These days is a song about recovery, as far as I'm concerned. And I think that for me, it's a reminder to be okay with my imperfectness. Because we're all imperfect beings just trying to survive in the world. as a songwriter, I'm really, really proud of this group of songs. I think it's the best group of songs that I've written. I think I really concentrated and I really worked hard on the craft of the songs and the songwriting. There's just no BS in here. There's not one placeholder line. Not that there have been in the last couple records, but you know, there's not one line where my eyebrow raises and go, maybe could have found something better for that.
Did I tell you I love St. Patricia's?
Yeah, that's about Patti Smith.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a hero of mine, and
you're going to sing Alberta Stars in Alberta. So what do you tell the audience about Alberta Stars?
Well, when I moved back to the coast, it was 2020, July of 2020. We were coming down out of the mountains, coming through the Fraser Valley with the big Airstream on the back, and we roll down the hill where you turn off in Surrey there to the first stoplight, and I pull up to the stoplight, and this truck rolls up. And he rolls down his window and he looks at me to roll down my window. I said, oh, okay. So I rolled down my window thinking he's going to compliment me on the Airstream, on the vintage Airstream, right? And he goes, go back home. We don't want you here. And it took me a minute to realize what was happening. I had Alberta plates. And I thought to myself, okay, well, this is where I'm moving back to. But I thought to myself, this would never happen in Alberta. An Albertan would, never do something so inhospitable. But I looked at the guy and I said, I'm moving back to my home with my kids after 15 years away, trying to start our new life on the island where all my family is.
And he said,
and he looks at me and he goes, well, good luck with everything. But I thought to myself, I really wanted to write a love song to my former home province, and that's what Alberta Stars is.
He's searching for the words that she wants to hear, only listening to him singing would ever make it clear. Cherry blossom, spring bringing summer is soon, singing for strong winds under the harvest moon. And they'll never to start, they shine so bright in the headlights of cars, they dance all night. Give it a couple months and hope it don't get bad. back home and she just ain't the same. And the melody stars, they shine so bright in the headlights of cars, they dance to the night. Those Alberta stars shine so bright. The headlights of cars all through the night.
Watermelon Pink lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah.
Henrietta. Henrietta was always smoking. Her teeth were stained. Her hair was streaked in lightning blue. Every time she would laugh, it reminded me of you.
I don't know who that's about. I don't know who that's about. That's funny though. That song is like, I grew up here in Victoria, and my grandpa was in radio for 50 years. And when I first was Guthrie's age, my oldest son, was the first time that I remember listening to the radio at night under my covers. I was supposed to be sleeping, and I'd tune in the FM stations from across the Georgia Strait. I can't remember what it's called right now, but across the water to Vancouver and to Seattle. And it was the first time in my life where I felt safe. I just felt a bunch of emotions listening to the radio, listening to the announcers, listening to the music. At that time it was Soul Asylum. This used to be my playground by Madonna. So these really dark, weird early 90s songs that were full of despair. And I remember the first time I thought I felt something, and it took me away from my troubled home, and it took me out of that. And that song references that. Its headphones were always ringing. The coast was close, but her boy was always near. That's a little reference to my mom. It wasn't always pretty, but the signal chain was clear. And that's about radio. And the power of it.
Henriette was always smoking. Her teeth were stained, her hair was streaked in lightning blue. Every time that she would laugh, it reminded me of you. He was a jilted stoner lover. He always knew the key to love was to have fun. When the sun went down, that's when he'd get his doing done. Psychedelic noises, autonomic voices, it's causing you to think. It's watermelon pink. Headphones were always ringing. The coast was close, her boy was always near. It wasn't always pretty, but the signal chain was clear. Psychedelic noises, autonomic voices, it's causing you to think. It's watermelon pink. Motorcycle maintenance, living in a basement suite. Try to make a rent, listen to the radio, leather jacket, let's go. Bubble gum and dirty feet. Try to make a rent real cheap. Loving life and living free. Let's go. Red were always burning. Too much drink and staring at the sun. Watermelon pink, he always knew she was the one. Psychedelic noises and a million choices. It's causing you to think. It's watermelon pink. Yeah, like the lipstick traces written on their faces. Taking 40 paces is causing you to think. It's watermelon pink. You found the missing link. It was hidden in the sink. You better call the shrink. It's watermelon pink. It's watermelon pink.
I had my freedom, my radio freedom, hiding under the covers in North Kamloops. I never would have. My father was a game warden up there when we'd moved from North Vancouver. I never would have heard Wolfman Jack in North Vancouver. That signal would have never gotten through. But in Kamloops, up high on that plateau, I could hear Wolfman. XERB Del Rio, Texas, long wave.
Oh,
And he was like a sound unlike anything you'd ever heard. And he was playing music. I thought I had died and gone to heaven. It was blues, R&B, stuff, artists I'd never heard, but it moved me. So we have that in common. And so here, maybe you and I have come full circle in some respects because we're both on CKUA. We're both speaking into 16 transmitters and streaming and on the app and goes on forever.
Yeah.
Someone else is, well, they're not exactly hiding under their pillow. For you, it's 11 o'clock Pacific, 12 o'clock. But still, it strikes them if they're just waking up or they have a moment, they turn the radio on and that you're the first voice they hear. There's a lot of power there.
Yeah, and I think the on-demand features, I kind of hope that that's what happens at night for some person. I've started to notice that people are now making playlists on YouTube of songs that I've played of my show.
Nice.
So, so I know that people are listening, and I know that I think like what it is, I have the unique perspective of touring, and I meet people every single place I go that a lot of men will come up to me and kind of privately say, something you said on your show really helped me with something. And, men can tend to be a little, so they don't get into too many details, but I can see it in their eyes. And so, you know what, maybe it's not a 14-year-old or 11-year-old kid. Maybe it's a 60-year-old man or a 50-year-old man. And I'm okay with that too. It's such a beautiful thing to just try to help in any way possible.
I just want to add to that, Leroy. Thank you. After I had finished doing my interviews, actually with Rhiannon Giddens, the crowd parted and went away. And one woman was standing there with a straw hat covering her head because of the sun.
Yeah.
And I said, hello. And she said, can I just say thank you for being the voice in the room. Thank you for keeping me company, for being the voice, bringing the world to me. I can't thank you enough. And she shook my hand and I said, you have no idea what that means to me.
Yeah.
That is so vital to know that you're not just spinning your wheels.
Well, in a world of disconnection these days, to be, it sounds silly, but when you're connected, we're connected through the airwaves. We really are. Yeah. It's the message. It's the medium is the message.
And so, to celebrate all that, you've written a song called 1968 Dodge Dart. No, I can't remember anybody writing a song about a Dodge Dart.
No, it's got to be the first one.
Did I pay the parking? Listen, you have, in fact, struck a bell that's ringing loud and clear. It's got my attention. These are fantastic songs. They're really good.
Thank you.
I don't know which one are going to survive the test of time, but I just think it's a collective. I think this album will stand head and shoulders above some others.
Yeah.
Everybody has their favorites. And it's pretty fresh and you're pretty close to it right now. But you must be very proud of this album?
Yeah. Pride's a weird thing, but yes, I am incredibly proud of this record, and I saw it through, of course, with help, but I really had to go inward and travel this journey by myself. I had to get there in the end by myself with the help of all of my friends. I stopped asking what people thought of it, and I just did what I needed to do.
Did you see any concerts this summer? Have a chance to go and see?
Yeah, I did. Well, I mean, I just toured with Steve Earle, which was great. So I watched him every night. That was amazing in itself. Did I go? Oh, I went to Mariposa.
Wow.
Yeah, I played Mariposa. So I saw Band of Horses, which was wicked. It was just good to see a good old, roots Americana rock band. Coburn was fantastic as usual. I finally got to see him do Pace in the Cage because he never did that when I saw him in Victoria. Yeah,
that's the song. That is the
song. That song has helped me so many times. So Coburn was amazing. William Prince was great. I saw him with the band. That was the first time I got to see him with the band. And what else did we see? Mia Kelly is a songwriter from Gatineau. I liked her stuff a lot. So I've just been working. I haven't really been, Mariposa was, I think, one of the only big festivals I got this summer, which is fine. Maybe this record will excite some. Terry Wickham, if you're listening, for God's sakes, man, it's been 10 years. I need to come back to your festival. But that was what an incredible, to go to play Mariposa and see that was stunning.
Well, here you are. You've come full. I mean, here you are. You're on the stew. It's September the 7th. The album is out. It has its own life now.
Yeah.
3 a.m. Revelations, Leeroy Stagger. And listen to Dirty Windshield's radio hour. It'll be there, and he'll be there. He'll be telling you stories. All of the songs on this album have a story that goes with. And then there's the collective story of how they all came together, how they earned their right to be on the album. Because I'm sure you've wrote and recorded many other songs that didn't make it. And so, by the way, those first and second versions, were they all those same songs or different songs?
No, a mixture. The first one has quite a few different ones. So what I took off the new record from the first session was These Days, that version of Alberta Stars, and St. Patricia. Okay. And Dodge Dart as well, actually. So quite a few. Those all have the great Pete Thomas on drums from The Attractions and, all those great records.
I think it's been described in some of the stuff I've just got. They wanted some bangers from you.
Yeah.
Bangers. I love that.
And Pete brings the bangers. Tom Waits called him the greatest rock and roll drummer alive, which was cool. So that was done in COVID, though, that record. So Pete's first drums were recorded in LA. Yep. And then we made a full live off the floor 7-piece band live in Vancouver. Like, I was really obsessed with those great Bob Dylan records, Time Out of Mind. So I wanted to record that version of it. And that was really cool, really, really cool. But it's more of it's not, not singles, not radio singles.
Well, you've got a nice library. You got some backfill. Is that Sinead O'Connor just after you?
And I purposely did that because I wanted you to see her there.
Okay, one more time for your fans and for anybody who wants to be a fan. The 14th, Between the Peaks in Rossland. We know you're out there, fans of Leeroy Stagger. Thank you, mate, for this. This is fantastic. Have a great run with these tunes, and then we'll see. And just stay in touch and say hello from your side of the radio.
I will, man. Thanks so much, man. You're a great mentor. Appreciate you.
What's your website?
LeeroyStagger.com. 2 E's, 2 G's.
Can you sign up for a newsletter and be a friend and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, there's the Substack, which is kind of the where I kind of go deeper on everything than my social media. So that's easy. You can all find it on my website.
Okay.